Hello out there and welcome back to my workshop. My family room. And here is a look at the tall boy that we'll be working on today. From the look of it, this piece seemed to be from the 70s, early 80s, but by looking at it, you can see it is a bit dated. However, it's in really good condition. There's no scarring on the sides or the top. The drawers are not broken, they're just incorrectly, so we'll straighten all that out. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this piece. The only thing I have decided upon is color, but I do know that I want to change this dated hardware and take this emblem out of the middle. As far as I can tell, this piece is oak. The top of it is solid. On the side, it is a particle board with a veneer, but I'm not going to worry about that because we will be painting part of it, but I want to keep the top of it solid, and I also want to keep the bottom solid. So for this piece, I wanted something fast. So I decided to try Beyond Paint. Now this is an all-in-one paint. It has the primer, the top coat built in. There's no sanding, no stripping, and no primer needed. So I have saw great reviews on this and saw great tutorials. So here, let's try it. So I want to start by removing the hardware and checking the drawers for any repairs. Then I'm going to use my TSP and a warm water to clean the piece. So let's go ahead and get started. Now that I have the hardware off and the drawers removed, it is time to take off these little fake keyholes. Now, of course, it's nailed in with a small nail, so I'm going to take my flat screwdriver and start to pry it up. Once I get it up, I'll take a hammer to pull out the nails. I'm also being careful not to damage the wood. Now I'm going to use the TSP that I have mixed in my spray bottle. I'm going to spray the piece down and use a wet cloth to scrub it down. Now here on the top, there are some small pinholes. This is more of a rustic style dresser. I don't know if you can see them, but there are some small little holes. So I'm going to go ahead and spackle those holes. The hardware I plan to use is the same dimension, so I don't have to close up those holes, but these little pinholes and also the holes from where I removed those little keyholes, I want to fill those holes in. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Elmer's wood filler and I'll be filling in those little holes. I'm going to take my spackling tool and I just want to spread it across the top, filling in all of those little pinholes. Now I'm ready to take off this decal on the front of the drawer. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my small screwdriver and I'm just going to go ahead and lift up in various places on the emblem until I get it up. That was a lot easier than I thought. I thought it would be glued down. But at any rate, there is some small nails left. I'm going to push them down into the wood, and then I'm going to use that same wood filler and I'm going to go ahead and put it across or over the front side of the emblem, and then I'll sand it back when it dries. While that dries, at the bottom of the dresser, I have it flipped over and I noticed that the particle board is starting to separate. So I'm just going to take some wood glue and glue it back together. I'm adding the wood glue to the damaged area, and then I'm going to take a clamp and clamp it. I did this on both corners in the back of the dresser. I will probably go ahead and reinforce them later on in the video. Now we're looking at the bottom of the dresser. We're looking at this scallop edge at the bottom. Of course, this dates it. So what I've done is taken a line, draw it across the bottom of the scallop edge to straighten it out. This will give it a more modern look. I hope you can see my drawing, but I want to cut all of that out and straighten it up to give it a more streamlined look. Because I have such a hard time making a straight line with the jigsaw because of the vibration, my husband decided to step in and complete it for me. Now I'm going to use an 80 grit sandpaper and smooth out the bottom portion where we just cut off. There was a little bit of the curb still left, so I just want to smooth it out. I'll go ahead and sand down the whole skirting at the bottom before flipping it upright. Now I have my dresser upright. I want to sand the top down to the bare wood using an 80 grit sandpaper to accomplish this. Now that it's time to sand the drawers, I'm going to switch over to a 220 grit sandpaper, and I just want to smooth out the wood filler that I put on the top of the drawers. I'll also use a finer grit sandpaper on the top of my dresser and along the bottom skirting. Then I'll brush away the dust and use a damp cloth to make sure there's no debris left behind. Y'all, I just got this great idea. I have this wicker mat. I have like 3 of them, and I've had them for a while. So I've decided to use them on this dresser. I have 3 drawers, and I want to take this mat and add it to these 3 drawers. They have like an inlay in them, so I want to cut this mat down to size and use it on the dresser drawers. So I'm going to start with 1. I'm going to put 1 on the drawer. I'm going to mark off a straight edge because it is kind of flimsy and it doesn't have a straight edge. And then I'm going to take my glue and glue it to one of the drawers to see how it works. So let's get started. I'm going to use a square as well as my marker to make a straight line on the front side of the mat. I did measure and cut this bigger than the area which I will be applying it. That's because it is a straw-like material, of course it's going to fray. I'll use the scissors to cut out the pattern. I'll check it for fit, and then I'll be ready to glue it down. I'll then take my Gorilla Wood glue and spread it on the surface of the drawer. I'm using a business card because that's what I have on hand to spread the glue evenly across the surface of the drawer. Now it's time to lay it out. I made sure my wicker was tight and in place, then I cut the opposite end. I still left room to bend the wicker and push down in place. Once it was positioned, I used an X-Acto knife to cut away the excess. I'll let it dry for 45 minutes to half an hour and we'll come back. And here is what it looks like. I think I kind of like it. I have to clean it up, cut away some of the strings, but I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other two drawers. I'm going to get this drawer finished, also the third drawer, let the glue dry, and come back. I am back. While the wicker is drying, I want to start to paint my dresser. Again, I am using the Beyond Paint and the Pebble color. I am ready to stir my paint and get started. Now that my paint is mixed, I'm going to use the foil lined tray to add my paint to. I'm going to use this snap roller to apply my paint. I'm going to apply it using very little paint. So I put it on and rolled off as much as I can roll off. I'll then use my chip brush to get those hard to reach corners and crevices. I'll then switch back to the roller to smooth it out. On my 3 inlay panel drawers, the wicker is dry. I haven't decided what I want to do with the wicker, so I'm going to go ahead and paint the drawers. I'm going to take my chip brush and go around the inside corners of the drawers. Once again, I'll switch back over to the roller and smooth that out and finish painting the balance of the drawer. I'll let the first coat of paint dry on my dresser and we'll be back to add coat number 2. I'm back to add my second coat of paint. The recommended dry time is about 2 hours. My paint has been drying for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I stored my paint in this plastic bag, and now I'm just going to take it out and start adding my second coat of paint. Good morning, good morning. I am back and my paint is dry. I had hardware that I was going to use on this piece, but I kind of changed my mind. Again, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it except for the paint color. So this is what the hardware that I had, and I like it with the color, but I'm not sure I like it with the straw or the grass inserts. Let me know what you think. But at any rate, I'm going to order some new hardware that I think will go better with that. So until I get that done, we're going to go ahead and stain the top. Initially, I wanted to whitewash the top with the same color, but I decided against that. I love the look of the natural wood so much. I'm just going to go ahead and use polyurethane. And this is the wipe on poly, but it will darken and enrich the color just a little bit. So I'm going to do that to the top and the bottom of the piece. So let's get started. Okay, everyone, no laughing. I have to stand on a ladder to reach the top. So I'm just going to pour my poly on the top, and I'm going to use a cotton lint-free rag to spread out my poly. To let you know, any products used in this tutorial will be listed in the description box below. I'll also put the polyurethane on the straw or the wicker. This will be like a moisturizer for the wicker. I'll let this dry for 2 hours, add a second coat to the top and the bottom of my dresser, and we'll come back and add the hardware. My hardware finally arrived from Amazon, and I added it to the top drawers to see if I like it. Here's a look at the hardware, and I absolutely love it. So I went ahead and patched the drawers with wood filler, and now I just need to sand them back, repaint the drawer with 2 coats of paint, and add my new hardware. I drilled a new hole for the new hardware right in the middle of the other 2, making sure that it's level. I'm going to repaint the drawer, let it dry, add a second coat, and come back and add the hardware. The matching handles for the lower drawers. Beautiful. And now I just want to add them to the drawers. To make it easy, I make a template out of paper from my first hole, and then I'll just take the second hole, lay it on the piece, and take my pencil and mark where the second hole should be, making sure that it's level from top to bottom. I'm going to get the hardware added to these 3 drawers, and we'll be back for the reveal. Just a quick reminder of what my dresser looked like before. And here is the after. I think my dresser turned out absolutely beautiful. I added 3 coats of the Minwax polyurethane in the satin finish to the base of my dresser, and then I also added it to the cane on the drawer fronts. And let me know in the comment sections, what do you think about the copper hardware? Do you like it on the wicker? I absolutely love it. And on the top, of course, I didn't add any color. I just added 4 coats of my Minwax polyurethane in the satin finish as well. And here's a look at how the drawers turned out inside after using Howard's feed-in wax. And I know you remember on the top drawer we had that emblem or woodgie bend that was on the top. It is smooth and painted. Let me know, would you have done the cane or would you prefer the whole drawer painted? So if you're enjoying this video and its content, I need you to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you not forget the notification bell so you will be aware of all of my upcoming videos. Let me say thank you to all that's watching, and a very special thank you to all my subscribers. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.